Yeah, and speaking of the consumer, we got some data crossing the tape. Final October consumer sentiment coming in at 63.8. That compares to the 63.0 estimate, and that itself compares with 63 from the preliminary data earlier in the month and 68.1 in September. So still down month over month on Michigan sentiment, but just slightly better than anticipated.
Just adds to the string of better data releases.
It does.
I think we should talk about PCE.
Sure.
Well, first of all, let's talk about personal spending, which comes out in that number, which was strong. And we knew that, right, because that factors into the GDP that we saw yesterday on the third quarter. But 0.7% month-over-month growth in September versus 0.4% in August is a notable jump and better than consensus. And then headline inflation comes in a little bit firmer, 0.4% versus 0.3% expected. Core, if you strip out food and energy, which we know the Fed likes to look at for the underlying trend, 0.3% versus 0.1% prior. So a little bit hotter, but if you look and zoom out, the downtrend is still in place on inflation. So it shouldn't really change the macro narrative or change the Fed's trajectory, at least next week when it's going to pause at its meeting. At least those are the expectations. But it does keep them on high alert, Mike, that this stronger data may make it harder to bring inflation all the way back down to trend. And that's going to be the story. And today's data didn't do anything to change.